feel the need to speak up for my crowd, for my people, because I want to make sure that you all know that this is a safe space for people like us. If you are, in fact, not a part of a sexual or gender minority, just listen with your heart open, because that is also one of the key themes of this talk. I have not planned this beforehand, okay? It's just pure heart knowing, it's just pure experience. It's what other things that I know about people like myself. First things first, what is the problem? The problem is, yes, ignorance, okay? And the fact that ignorance is leading a lot of these conversations that people are putting out there. These are, again, mostly cisgender female, and cisgender simply means not trans. And you are putting these conversations out there. You know, if you want to sort of defend female rights, women's rights, sure, go ahead, but please don't do it at the cost of minorities, because that is not actually benefiting your cause either. When you're using your position in a way to take power away from others, and if you're using your position to bash others and spread, these hateful perspectives, you are actually not doing the work of unconditional love. You're not helping the consciousness ascend. You are working with old paradigm rules, old paradigm mentalities and frequencies. So even just, speaking from that energetic perspective, you're using your energy as a way to push others down or keep others down. Let's just put it that way, because the way to raise the collective frequencies means that we get to the core of the issue, we get to the core of the healing. And one of the main issues, one of the main reasons that isolates people like myself is being excluded from a lot of places, because there is not this sort of safety. Generally, the safety aspect, the safe space for people of all kinds is something that is missing from a lot of spaces. There should be more of that, honestly, because what a safe space is, it just means that you are accepted as who you are. And so, just so you know, I'm not attacking people based on their gender. I'm simply mentioning that because a lot of these people who do not belong into gender or sexual minorities, especially those that do not belong in gender minorities and are trying to speak for us, but you're not really speaking for us. You're actually speaking from a very disempowering place. For a lot of these people, you will not understand what it's like to be transgender. When you want to help people of minorities, marginalized communities feel included, you will make sure that you are not speaking from a place of ignorance to issues that are relevant to these communities. You will do your damn studying, go to legit sources. Don't go to sources that, clearly have an agenda to stop us from having rights to our own bodies. Okay, if you want to have rights to your body, you will have to be willing to let others have right to their own bodies and right to their own lives. That's one thing. The other thing is true inclusion. Okay, so if you're spreading these very hateful narratives that claim that being transgender or being gay is a mental illness, you are not helping us feel included. You are stigmatizing us further. You are spreading lies. Why? Because these things are not illnesses. These things are even, observed. Some of these things are observed in, nature. There are gay animals, and the seahorse males carry babies. So if you need like a representation of a male that carries a baby, I don't plan on doing that, by the way. I'm not really interested in having children of humankind. Animals, maybe. I have a big heart for animals, especially pigs. You can see there's plenty of pigs on my bed right now, plushies. Like, if you needed an example, it's the freaking seahorse male. There's your example. Nature is diverse. Diversity is beautiful. If we are failing to accept differences in others, if we let ourselves be in that bubble, whether it be spiritual bubble, whether it be cis hetero bubble, or even for me, LGBTQ bubble, I sometimes forget that straight people exist, but then this happens and I'm like, Oh, right, right. The thing is, the very unfortunate truth. I don't want to come from fear, but we need to be honest and real about the facts. Okay, we have to be real about things that happen on this planet. Okay, people like myself get murdered because of transphobia and homophobia. Even last summer, actually, this was just before I published my Starshade Origins course, like a week or 10 days or something like that before I published my Starshade Origins course. I was just gonna, meet up with a friend. I just went to my bus stop and somebody homophobic thought it was a good idea to, start being mean to me just because I happen to wear like a rainbow bear shirt. You've probably seen me wear that shirt before, and this person thought it was like a good place to just a regular bus stop. Maybe they were a little bit drunk, but I don't think that's like an excuse for it. Homophobic bullying by an adult. Isn't that wonderful? No, it's not. If you see that and you really want to be an example of unconditional love, of like sovereignty, if you really want to support, you would say something. Like I want to just, extend my compassion towards everyone because there are plenty of people. Nobody said anything. That is what worries me. But on the other hand, maybe, there's a chance that maybe some of those people were closeted. They didn't want to take more part in that chaos. Maybe that person was just so threatening that they did not want to defend me. And that's the thing. These are the types of things that really isolate us. I mean, this is the first time that it actually happened, like in person, in where I live, sort of type of thing. But then there have been things. So, for example, when I came out as transgender, the initial response was not that positive, and it wasn't until I moved out and I didn't talk to my parents for like months that they started to actually think about how they had treated me upon that situation and actually correcting and repairing their ways. It really left me traumatized. And it took a lot of work on healing myself and therapy and stuff like that too, and safe spaces for people like myself. Big thanks to Helsinki Pride community for being such a wonderful place to go to, and other places. There's plenty of other places also, but the thing about that is I needed that. I needed a space where I'm not going to be judged for uh, being transgender or for being gay or pansexual, bisexual. Those are kind of my words that I use, but like wasn't judged for those in those places, and that was necessary. It was really important for my healing, and still is very important for me in general because I get to meet wonderful people there. It is because, unfortunately, a lot of us live in a society where the gender and sexual minorities are not really accepted. We are the minority. Therefore, when I see more and more these videos, there's a part of it that doesn't surprise me because these people have been in their sort of cis hetero bubbles. And what I do believe is that maybe a part of this is because like the conspiracy theories really are more popular than they should be. They're a lot more popular in these communities than and certainly accepted as spiritual theories for some people. And I have a video coming up about that. I sort of feel like they tend to be a little bit disempowering most of the time. Yeah, that's another topic for another time. And the other thing is, religious programming. It happens a lot in this community, especially in a lot of spiritual communities. And I say in a lot of other communities as well, because first of all, let me be clear on this. I don't necessarily judge different belief systems or different, religions per se, but when we talk about religious programming, that is where there's a lot to that topic. Okay. And one of these is this dogmatic and this suppressing and discriminating aspect. A lot of this is like how much sexual suppression happens in like religious cults, for example, and not just queer sexual suppression, but I mean, even straight people go through it in cults and in different like hardcore religious communities. These religious cult mentalities, they can almost be like egregores that people then, sort of pick up on and they follow. And there's just a lot of layers to this conversations and why it might be that people tend to get so easily swayed into this and not really be in their unconditional heart to love space, because that's where you truly want to understand our side of things. You want to be more open and accepting and unified, and you want to express that love. But if you're so much in your headspace and you're just picking up all of these thought forms and you're more let's just say more attuned to your ignorance and your ego and things that you want to be validated within yourself, because you haven't learned to necessarily validate those things, so you're kind of just looking into those things outside of yourself. Yeah, it is a very complex topic. If you are not part of these minorities, if you take something from this, stop being ignorant, okay, and just listen to us for a second and look into things deeper, because we are not ill because of who we are. We are ill because people tend to be hateful towards us. It is the hate that is the illness, not the soul and the heart of who we are, okay? Nothing but love here. I am experiencing a lot more, coherent and anchored life. I'm a lot more grounded since I've been on hormones, and just a lot happier in general. I haven't had depression for many years now. It is truly life-changing when you discover who you are as a human as well. And as a starseed, we can sometimes be a bit escapist when it comes to, our human lives. So I'm just happy that I'm making more peace with who I am as a human, okay? And that is what knowing these things about myself has helped me with. Thank you for listening. And I will be back here soon with another discussion.